Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make a quiche, actually a spinach and bacon quiche. So the first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 190 degrees Celsius. And what you will need is one 9-inch, that's 23 centimeter, pre-baked pie crust. Now, I do have a recipe on the site as well as a video that shows you how to do that. And once it's baked, you could even make it the day before and then just cover and store it at room temperature. So once you have that done, a quiche filling is really a custard, a savory custard. And what we're going to add to the custard is some spinach, some bacon, some shallots, and some grated cheese. So the first thing we're going to do is to cook our spinach. I like to steam, I'm using fresh spinach, actually 7 ounces, which is 200 grams of fresh spinach, and make sure it's washed. And I like to steam it. Now you could just fry it in a frying pan with a little oil until it's wilted, but I prefer to steam it. So what you need is a large pot, and I don't have a steamer basket, so what I'm just going to use is a stainless steel strainer. And what you want is just enough boiling water that it just comes up to the bottom of the steamer. And you will want that water boiling. And then we just put, as you know, when you use fresh spinach, it looks like a lot, but once it wilts, you don't get very much from a large amount. So that's why it may look like a lot, but when we're finished, it won't be. So just put your spinach in there, and then you let it steam just until it's wilted. That will take, depending on your water temperature and that, between 2 and 4 minutes. And check it every once in a while and toss it so that it wilts evenly. Okay, so our spinach is wilted, as you can see. So what I'm going to do now is to preserve that lovely, dark green color. I'm just going to go over to the sink, run it under some cold water, and then because there's so much water in the spinach, I'm just with my hands, I'm going to gently squeeze the spinach to get all that excess water out of it. Okay, so now here's our spinach. I did squeeze out, tried to squeeze out a lot of the water, but what I also like to do is put it on some paper towel and then just blot it to make sure we get it all out. It's pretty dry. As you can see, what we started with and what we end with it's quite a difference. Now, if you didn't want to use fresh spinach and you wanted to use just the frozen, you could just do that, just thaw it and squeeze it dry. You will need roughly a cup, 240 milliliters of the frozen spinach. And then what I like to do is just kind of roughly cut it up. As you can see, running it under the cold water really preserves that lovely bright green color, which is really nice in the quiche. Okay, and then just put that aside. And then now we need bacon. You will need about 4 strips of bacon, whatever your favorite type is. Sometimes if you want to cut down on the fat content of this quiche, you could use turkey bacon, which I often do at home. Other choices would be you could use ham, you could maybe use sausage. Really, you can just use whatever you want. And I'm just going to fry the bacon until crisp. Kind of however you like your bacon. There we go. Okay, there's our bacon. So what I like to do is put my bacon on some paper towel and then just blot to get rid of any of the extra fat there. And then what we're going to do is cut that into bite-sized pieces. I am going to cut off the fat, although some people say that's the best part, so you leave it if you want. Okay, so that's our bacon. So next, you want maybe just a little, I just have a little bacon fat in the bottom of my pan. You only need at the most maybe a tablespoon, so you could use the bacon fat or you could just put some oil. And what I'm going to do is saute a quarter of a cup, 60 milliliters. Now I have shallots, I like shallots, and that are diced. If you don't want to use shallots, you could just use about a quarter of a cup of onion and one small garlic clove minced, if you would prefer that. And I'm just going to season that with a little salt and pepper. So what we're going to do is just saute it over medium-high heat, just until it's softened. Because a custard filling does not need a long baking time, that is why we're pre-cooking our vegetables ahead. Because otherwise they just won't cook enough. Really smell that shallots. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to turn that off, and then I'm just going to add my bacon and my spinach to that. Doesn't that look lovely? Okay, that's good. So now for our custard, very simple. We have 2 large eggs and 1 large egg yolk. And I'm just going to use a wire whisk to break that up. And then to that, I'm going to add a half a cup, that's 120 milliliters of heavy cream. And that is cream with a 35 to 40% butterfat content, along with 2/3 of a cup, that's 160 milliliters of milk. You can use whole or reduced fat. Actually, depending on how rich you want your quiche to do, you can change the ratios there. You want it a little richer tasting, you can put more of the heavy cream to the milk, and vice versa. You want it a little less rich, then you could add more milk and less cream. And then I'm just going to, a little salt, a little pepper. You could use other spices. I'm actually, my family likes a little bit of heat, so I'm going to add just a pinch of the cayenne pepper. You could use some hot sauce as well. Thyme would be nice in here. And that's our custard base. I mean, pretty simple. So then you take your pastry crust, and then we're just going to, now you want to make sure that your eggs and milk and cream are at room temperature. If they're cold, that will mean that your quiche is going to take a little longer to bake. So at least have your milk and cream at room temperature. Some people like to even gently heat it to lukewarm, because that will speed up the baking time of your quiche. So there we have, doesn't that look lovely? And then I like to add about a half a cup of grated cheese, which is 120 milliliters. I'm just using a Parmesan here. Again, you could add more or less cheese. You could leave it out. Really, it's kind of like you have your custard base, which you can kind of play with. Like I said, how rich it tastes. And then you could add, maybe you didn't want spinach, you could add zucchini, I mean, some red pepper. Really adjust it. Have some fun with it. And then all we're going to do is take our custard and pour it over the top. Doesn't that look wonderful? This makes a nice, I mean, brunch, lunch, even supper with a green salad. So now, we're going to bake it. Maybe around 20-25 minutes. But what you're looking for, it will get nice and, nicely browned on top, maybe a little puffed. And the custard will be set. If you kind of shake the pan, it'll be set. And then just take a sharp knife and insert it about 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters from the edge of the crust. And if you put it in, take out, your knife should come out clean. Okay, our quiche is now done. As you can see, nicely browned on top. And if I just gently shake it, you can see that the custard is set. And if I take a knife and about 1 inch in, it does come out clean. So now, we want the custard filling to cool down a bit and to set. So I'm going to let it cool for maybe about 15 minutes, and then I'll show you a piece. So now we'll cut our quiche. So you need a sharp knife. And as big or as small as you want it. And there you go. There you have it. Very nice with a green salad. You can cover and store leftovers in the refrige for a day or two, and then if you'd like, gently reheat it. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joyedbaking.com.